Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to interrupt the epic music, but I've sort of got to get a move on here. This might be a short stream, not sure. The reason for the stream is, frankly, it's been absolutely appallingly noisy here all day. And so I've not been able to do any recording, but I've been working on the collection. Bruce S, thank you for the resub over on Twitch. So I queued this up, the noise stopped. Maybe that's what I should do. However, I think the noise has stopped because they're taking a break. Let me just check outside the window again. I mean, the guy in the digger has sat still in the digger with his feet up. Looks like he's taking a nap. So either they have gone on a very short lunch break or he really does want to sleep for a while. If it stays quiet for more than about 15 or 20 minutes, I might cut short the stream so I can quickly go and do some recording so I don't have to record as much in the... I'm really having to steal moments to record. This noise goes on from 7 in the morning till 7 at night. So I've kind of got to just quickly start recording when they stop and try and do it before I get too tired. And I can't do night shift at the moment. I can't work during the night and sleep during the day. The noise is so bad. Like I said, luckily it's bizarrely quiet. Bizarrely quiet. Anyway, so I'm posing a question to you. It suddenly dawned on me that I could call this visual collection that may contain some audio things, and I'm wondering whether it should contain some animation stuff. It's not really a visual mod. If I called this a remaster collection. Because, I mean, what is a remaster? It's just a visual upgrade, mostly, isn't it? Maybe visual, models, animations. Would it be too pretentious to call this? This, by the way, is not the complete collection at the moment. I just wanted to show you what I was thinking. I've currently got Desert Natural Weathers installed, just as because it's very neutral and it's reasonably well lit. So I've got Desert Natural Weathers. I'm still considering other weather mods. I found out that apparently Nevada really does have a very blue sky. And I actually realised the sky in Norway, when it's dry and sunny, it's quite blue. So I don't need to worry about it being too blue. Although I think there's something to be said about it looking a little less vibrant. It just makes it feel nicer. Sometimes that's, you know, sometimes that's important too. So I've stuck with Desert Natural Weathers. It's the collection currently. Let's have a look at it. 45 mods? 45 mods. That's, it's, and I don't have any animation mods. A remaster would be using RTX Remix. Well, that would be another remaster, I guess. But basically, I mean, I'm not going to call it a remaster. I'm just thinking, I'm trying to come up with a name for a collection that would let me have visual stuff, maybe a few audio things as well, but also animations, because I can't find anywhere to put the animations. And I'm just thinking an overall collection that makes a game feel more modern without changing the gameplay. That's actually the definition of a remaster, isn't it? Where it's a reskin almost, if you think about it. It's just the game looks more modern, kind of feels more modern, but the gameplay's almost identical. It's not changed. That's what I'm thinking. A redux? I don't even know what that means, I'll be honest with you. A remake is where you change the gameplay. Oh, there's the noise. It's not that bad yet. Modernized. FNV Retro Remastered. Oh, I quite like that. I quite like that. I quite like that. Anyway, so I haven't not decided 1000% which weather mod to use. It's just, I feel like Desert Natural Weathers is a safer option. What's wrong with visuals and stuff? Nibbenin, thank you for the cow face. So yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, desert natural weathers is just, it's a safe bet at the moment. Right, so here's how I started out. Here's what I've ended up deciding. Although there is a side of me wondering whether I'm pushing the game too much. I mean, the thing is you could easily argue modern hardware can handle more or less anything you throw at it. But I do wonder about the game itself. There is a mod called Charges FNV Texture Packs. And from the looks of things, this is every single texture in the game, just, you know, upscaled to twice the size. There is a 4 times size version, but I decided to go for the twice the size version. But there's also a version of this by someone else that seems to have some unnecessary files that affect performance, etc., removed. So I'm wondering whether this is the better option. This is the one I'm testing out at the moment. So, can you guys hear that in the background? It's not that noisy yet, but they've started up again. I don't know what that is. The digger is not moving yet. Let me just check. Oh no, it's the truck carrying the junk away. I don't know. I don't know what's going on out there. I really don't. It's yeah. Prefer the performance version. You prefer this is the performance version realistically, isn't it? Isn't this the performance version? I mean, 2K. You want it to be a bit improved. Is there a... You can't hear anything. Right, it's just because it's very low-ball noise. It's not high-impact noise. If the digger starts moving, trust me, you will hear it. It actually... When we first heard the digger moving round, we thought it was actually drilling. Turns out the digger's on steel tracks. So every single track that comes down slams into the tarmac. So... Do they have a curfew time for construction works in Norway? Probably, but, I mean, they're currently set to work from 7 in the morning till 7 at night. So, there's nothing I can do. Maybe your mic will still filter, who knows. It's very possible. I do have some filters on the mic that cut it off if it's not over. I've got a noise gate, but you might hear it when I'm talking. In the moments I talk, you might hear something in the background. The digger, you would definitely hear if it starts moving. So, anyway, this is where middle of the day. It is middle of the day, but unfortunately, that's when I work. So. No reshade inclusion. I haven't decided what I'm doing with regard to things like reshades. I've added a mod that makes lighting interiors better, but things like reshade I have not decided yet. I'm still secretly hoping I'll find a way to get New Vegas Reloaded working with a collection. I'm not hopeful at the moment, unless they agree to host it somewhere different. I think we're fresh out of luck. I haven't tried to access Discord through a web page, but seeing as people would need to be registered and also a member of that Discord page, I think it would just make the collection next to impossible to use for most people. So anyway, basically the textures here are slightly improved. Not sure you can see the difference, but there is a difference. It is actually, I mean, everything looks identical. It's vanilla, these textures. But it does look slightly sharper. This sign was one I noticed looked a little sharper. And I think it's one of those textures that things like NMCs doesn't touch. So, and let me just... Right. Basically, with this loaded, it did increase the memory on the graphics card from about 2.5 gig to about 3 gig. So there's a slight boost. But on modern graphics cards, that shouldn't be... I mean, I shouldn't even need to think about things like that, right? The days of people having 4 gig graphics cards is just long gone, right? Tell me I don't really need to. You can't even notice Ultra HD textures on your 4K monitor. I mean... Oh, hey, Quorico. I mean, you're not that wrong. Some people can't see the difference. I can. The difference between the default textures and these improved ones, I can sort of see, although it's not as obvious as some massive overhaul mods. If there's a slight sharpening on them, if I take it off... I'm reading the chat now. Okay. We're talking about other stuff, not mods. Got it? I'm going to stay out of that conversation. You're talking to each other. So, generally, when I look at a texture like this, you can sort of see how god-awful it is. And then, of course, there's my good old friend, the sign. And with this mod installed, I do notice when I get up close that they look a little sharper. Not overwhelmingly, though. To be honest with you, the main reason I'm thinking of using this is to cover textures that other mods don't. But I'm open to the idea that I don't even need this as a base, because I am probably going to use NMCs. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, some people won't notice it. But even this screen seems to have been upscaled a little. It definitely feels a little sharper. But it also includes weapons and things. So this is an overall sharpening of just about everything. See, it's still a hideous texture, but it does look slightly sharper, right? Or is that a placebo? I don't think it's a placebo. I think I'm seeing... This one's harder to tell. I do think it's slightly better. It's slightly sharper. But again, it's really difficult to know for sure how much of an effect this one has. I might remove this as a base, seeing as I am going to be using a ton of others. But like, for example, the wood here definitely seems to have more graininess to it with this mod installed than without. So, take a screenshot and compare. I mean, yeah, I can do that. But honestly, I mean, I can notice certain things. Like this wood here, definitely grainier. And I'm pretty damn sure this is not a placebo. I'm pretty sure... I mean, this is still a bad texture, but it's... I do believe it's not as just mushy as the default one. You can see it in other places as well, like even on the clothes, because it is... Like, you can see it on the hat. It is like an overall boost to textures. But because I think it's just using a tool to enhance the vanilla ones, you're a bit of a... Well, you're a victim of you know, working with what you've got. So it's not a massive improvement. By itself, it's not really doing too much to improve. I was just thinking as a base, because then when you install something like NMCs, it overwrites the vast majority of them. So it's just probably leaving a few. And I thought that might help with a feeling of consistency in the textures. For FONV, I think you can probably go nuts with graphical mods and not need to worry about the user's hardware. Nikki D, that is true. However, you actually still have to worry about the engine not being able to handle it. The user's hardware might be the best ever, but in actual fact, most hardware now is better because it's running like 16 cores minimum. Even on a budget machine, you're running 8 cores. Fallout games are notoriously bad with multi-core. Now, I'm using a ton of mods. I mean, this collection, I will be putting a massive caveat on it on anyone who uses it and say, I'm expecting you to use the stable New Vegas collection as well. If you're not, your game might not be able to handle this as well, right? So, you love DXVK. I don't find that improves the way the game looks at all. I think it just adds a bit of a performance boost sometimes. I'm open to being convinced otherwise, though. All right, so we got NMCs. I went for the large one, not the maximum, and I need the patch. So on top of that, load up NMCs. Now, NMCs is one of those texture packs where I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship. I love some of the textures and I hate some of the others. Hate's too strong of a word. I don't like them. Roads are one where I look at the roads and think, okay, I don't hate them, but I do not love them. I can see what he was going for, but first of all, I prefer lighter roads, I'll be honest. This is a sun-drenched desert. This tarmac was put down 200 years ago. It would be pretty damn bleached. However, the texture here is better, right? It is noticeably better, and I love my old stop sign. The stop sign is inarguably, absolutely 1000% better. So, I'm not sure if it is replacing any of these textures. You see, I know it replaces tons of them. But overall, I'm sort of liking the textures now. It's beginning to look good. So, the roads I'm not in love with. But also, is Nevada red? Is Nevada red? Because he's changed the colour of the whole area. It's very red now. Wallace. Oh, we got the man in. So the bigger the file is, the slower it will allocate on your GPU and copy it over. This means higher res you go, the more loading stutter you will get. Right, let me go back one comment. Issue with high res textures is that our engine lacks any sort of texture streaming on PC. Proto Streamer exists on the 360 version, so textures load as whole file in one go. Right, so there's your problem, guys. It's not the hardware, it is the engine. But I'm not noticing any general stutter. If I load in the game for the first time ever and then look around, I might notice a bit of stutter. But once I've done that, the game seems to be okay. So I feel like this is going to be one of those trade-offs. The first few seconds in game in a load, or if you load into a new area and you're loading in the textures, it's probably going to increase your stutters, but it will improve how the game looks. Oh, Wall, by the way, I've just added so many of your bloody mods. I've been going through your mod list, adding tons of them for this collection. Some of them I can barely even see any difference, but I'm reading it thinking, oh, okay, did not know that was a thing. And I'm not 1000% sure I can see it, but I'm sort of, because I can see it in some of your other mods, I'm trusting it. But yeah, Nevada rocks are generally red-orange. Just look at the Grand Canyon. So are you saying this looks more realistic? Are you saying this looks more realistic than the base game? Because the base game looks a lot lighter, more washed out than this. Is this why NMC did this? Did he do this because apparently it is redder? It looks more realistic now. Okay. Well, that's a shame. Because honestly, I'm still not in love with it. But I'm open to the idea of it. However, what I did was I installed the washed out wasteland textures over the top of that. What that does is it makes it look more vanilla while still It depends how long since it rained. Oh, God, don't complicate it for me, Timmy. The base game looks more yellow. Jojo far away, thank you for the resub. See, well, I just briefly Googled Nevada desert and looked at some pics, and it didn't look that red to me, but maybe I just got the wrong pics. All right. So, this is the washed out textures. And honestly, I prefer this look. I just sort of prefer this look. I also feel like the roads are a little lighter as well. I prefer the road. But that might also be just my brain thinking it is, because everything I'm comparing it to's changed as well. Wash out. There would be a lot of UV radiation bleaching stuff. Well, yeah, but it doesn't bleach rock, does it? Does the sun bleach rock and dirt? I mean, if the Nevada desert is redder than this, if NMC had it right, then maybe the look of your collection should be the look you prefer. Yes, I guess. I mean, I'm not going for super realism here. For example, apparently the realistic sun should be basically... There is one mod, it might be Nevada Skies, that if you look up at the sun, basically the sun seems to be like the size of the sky. It's just completely blurred out. Apparently that's probably the most realistic way of doing the sun, because you can't remotely look in the direction of the sun. And it should be quite a deep blue sky. So... But again, I'm not totally sure I loved the way those looked. Certain areas of Nevada desert are strikingly red, most noticeably the Valley of Fire State Park and Red Rock Canyon. Well, there is a Red Rock Canyon in this game. We can see what he's done there. That's not the one. This is the old Jack save, somewhat cleaned. Believe it or not. Where's Red Rock what, can anyone remind me where the Red Rock Drug Lab? Look at that! I actually remembered. Okay, so he's left the Red Rock Canyon looking the same on the washed out ones. Now, don't judge it by the LOD. The LOD probably... I haven't sorted out the LOD at the moment, so you're going to see a lot of popping in. Okay, so then this, in a way, doing it with the washed out textures, in a weird way, makes Red Rock Canyon more unique, surely. Good old Jack. Yeah, I know. See, I think the red popped in there. But not the rocks. Oh yeah, no, the land is popping in there, but not the rock. But the rock here is definitely red. So, this absolutely... Okay, it's definitely a bit of a mix and match, isn't it? Maybe... But, I mean, at least with the red rock, that distant stuff there, that will probably change. I say that, you never know. There are some very red-orange colours in the picturesque Bryce Canyon area. So, I mean, it looks like, because there are different textures for the Red Rock Canyon, you could use the washed out one, and it does make a bigger difference between the two. But is it too glaring? Because in spite of what I like, it could just be too glaring. And then NMC is actually the way to go. Pure NMC. No, it's still got red rocks and red dirt in this direction, doesn't it? Now, again, don't judge this by any popping in. I have not generated the LOD at all. So the LOD's probably the one that NMC's got loaded. And because I've overwritten a bunch of textures, it will look strange. This is nice. So I mean...
Ready, steady,
oh, I forgot about you.
fighty.
Yeah, so... okay, so anyway, that's my first thought, was add the washed out textures on top. But there was another mod. Just to make things even worse, there was a mod called Sandstone Desert. And I quite liked the look of this. Now, I am reliably told Nevada is not a sand desert. There are photos of the real Goodspring online. Is it red or is it more yellow? However, the Sandstone Desert doesn't actually make the game look sandy. I was happy and relieved to find out. It changes the colour, but it still looks like dirt. It just looks like very light dirt. Very sun-bleached. It's white. So the ground is a lot paler. See, this is with the sand... now, again, like I said, it doesn't actually look like sand. It looks like... well, it basically looks like very light dirt. Very bleached dirt. And again, do not judge by the LOD. The LOD is still NMC's and has not been adjusted. So if I wander in that direction, what you will see is the textures for this pop in. Just look at the tan. Oh, I like that. I like the word, yes, tan. So, I don't know why, but I like this. I like this. Can you guys not hear that in the background? It's just the... too noisy to record for me. I couldn't I mean, I can close... let me close the window a little bit. See, the problem I have is you can't hear that with the window closed, I'm guessing. I can still hear it, so if I was trying to record Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I would just have the sound of roadworks outside in my headset the entire time, which really ruins the atmosphere, even if it doesn't actually go in to the recording. So it's like, even when the noise isn't quite loud enough to ruin the recording, it can be loud enough to ruin my, for want of a better word, immersion. Hate that word. But what I don't like... yeah, you like that look. I like this look. This is a good look. We're currently at 3.5 gig. And again, I'm not noticing stutters. Now, granted, I've got a great rig, but from, if I'm understanding Wall correctly, this is not really dependent on my rig. It's very much a limit of the engine, so I should play some construction work at RPG, yeah. I like your thought process. So anyway, yeah, I feel this looks kind of like the vanilla, but the textures are higher and better, and the land looks more sun-drenched. I think this is why I like the look of it. It looks more sun-drenched. It looks warmer and sun-drenched. So, do I have the Excel mod? No. Should I? The textures are loads better. So you're noticing it. See, not everyone does. Here's where it gets... oh, I shouldn't have closed the game. Here's where it gets annoying, and this is what I've been doing this morning while listening to the joyous noise behind me. I don't like the roads. Correct me if I'm wrong, asphalt experts of the world. But after 200 years, this would be... Forget how crumbly it would be. In fact, I'm going to take a wild stab and say, if it was being realistic, there'd be no tarmac left. Tarmac would have just slowly eroded and been reclaimed by the land, even with people walking on it, right? I mean, the asphalt would have crumbled and just basically... You might have a slight discoloration. You might have a discoloration in this bit, but I doubt it. I think the tarmac would be crumbled. But if we forget that, it would be bloody pale, right? A desert has a weird way of preserving things in certain situations. But it might be preserved. And I'm not going to use a mod that gets rid of the roads, because I like the roads, right? I'm not even going to obsess too much about getting rid of the paint marks, which are fairly ridiculous. But they would get grey, right? Yeah, I mean, like someone said, the asphalt roads get grey after a year or two in the US. This just has some parts that... And I think it makes some of these seams more noticeable as well. I just... So, I've started looking at a whole heap of things. I mean, there is actually a mod that just adds the normal, horribly low-res textures of the base game back. And they look horrible, but oddly enough, I almost prefer it. You sure there are probably 25 road mods? There's at least 15 or 16. Because yes, I've been trying them. Oh no, this is not one. Now this to me still looks too dark. The seam still too visible. It's a nice texture. It is a nice texture, but I feel like this actually, if anything, looks darker. And even though it does look somewhat potholy, it looks like it's preserved even better. So, and the bit up there looks too nice for my tastes. Yeah. Okay, first of all, let's just go with classic-esque Fallout Roads asphalt. The paint on the road would be long gone. It would. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about that. There'd be no paint left. But then would there be any paint left on any of the signs? Would the signs even exist? I mean, this is why we're really not going to have to go for pure realism. If I can get something that is realistic and I like the look, that would be a bonus, I guess, but it's not a requirement. I mean, finding tin cans of 200-year-old food is not even slightly realistic. Have I tried New California? I've got a playthrough of it on my channel. I can't remember what was the character called? Was he Tim or something? The nerd? Yeah, I've got it's not a long let's play. Again, too damned dark. Let's try that one. Thank you, Prod by Bangy. You're so glad that Stalker 2 is getting attention in the patch. Yeah, it is looking vastly improved. The fact that they got night vision is, I'm thinking, a good sign. I feel like, all right, I'm just going to load this after. I'm definitely going to load this after. It's definitely feeling like it's getting in the right direction. I may wait for another patch or two because I believe the engine's going to get some optimizations or something, which might let them push things even more. I don't know. This is just what I'm hearing. But also at the moment, I can't start anything new. I'm having enough difficulty getting Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 recorded. Luckily, I'm a little bit ahead there, but I'm having difficulty. So, because of the noise outside, unfortunately. It feels smooth now, but you're right. Sorry to derail you from Fallout. Oh, no worries. I get derailed here all the time. Am I prepping for a playthrough? What, of Stalker or this? Stalker, I've already got a playthrough going, but I paused it at a point just because I really was getting a little irritated by some of the stuff, and I did believe they were going to fix a lot of stuff. This? No. This is more just me getting the modding urge again. Yeah. Still too dark. Although, I tell you what I do like here. The undertextures are more consistent now. Have you noticed? Look at this. The undertextures are more consistent with the sands. What's going on there? What the hell is going on there? I mean, that's... in some ways, that's an improvement just because of the undertextures. They're more consistent with the land now. Because NMC definitely darkens the undertextures all around. Okay, I might have to look into some of these undertextures. I can't understand why... Okay, this is very, very strange. I'm assuming these are the undertextures from the Sandstone mod. But why are they showing up now that I've loaded a road mod over it? Does that make any sense to anyone? I'm thinking that does not make sense. Asphalt, asphalt, gravel road, wasteland. It doesn't even seem to replace the undertextures, which is probably why. But, and this is the question, if I remove this, why does the undertexture disappear? Like, NMC seems to be overwriting the undertexture, right? Because my thought was, what I might have to do is go in and start really manipulating on a file-by-file basis. It was the Tim playthrough. Excellent. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna keep my eye on that. Number 2. Fallout. This is the default asphalt road. Have I tried the Wabberjack mod list for FNV? They are impressive. I've not tried any Wabberjack, no. For Wabberjack, don't you need to be using Mod Organizer? Or can you do Wabberjack from Vortex? Never actually tried them. I only started trying collections, basically, when they came out on Vortex. I still have mixed feelings about collections. But all of those mixed feelings are based upon me being an old git. So, when it was Wabberjack, old git me was like, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to ignore those. Do it the old-fashioned way. But now that, essentially, Nexus Mods has embraced it, I'm like, yeah, I can remain a dinosaur, but I am going to be completely and utterly out of the loop. See, the undertextures again... This wouldn't be one of... is it one of Wall's mods that actually merge textures in or something? Still got a seam here. Now this is the natural... This is the original. This is the original. So the original texture had a seam in it. There. Alright, so I can't judge other mods too harshly. See, this is the original textures. Again, it is darker at the outsides, but I suppose it's not too bad. Better colour, but still bit too dark. This is the vanilla colour. And yeah, it's definitely a better colour. It's definitely a better colour. We tried that one. Feeling with collection is hate and love. It's not hate, I wouldn't say. It's just, you know, you've got to remember I've been modding for the longest time. And a lot of my, I wouldn't say hatred, because it's not hatred. A lot of my, shall we say, reluctance to embrace some of the new things, like collections, or even Vortex in general, are based in the fact that it's made life a lot easier for everyone and nobody needs me anymore. Kind of. Yeah, but not just that. I loved modding back in the days. It was a difficult hobby to have. It took effort. And I enjoyed it. I did. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I also thoroughly enjoyed it helping people get past the learning curve. I got a real kick out of it. And of course, it did make my channel relevant. Vortex has essentially made me fairly redundant. And that's, you know, that's not anyone's fault. That's time moving on. So it's just some of my reluctance is not just the fact that I'm not, you know, I can't make tutorials and people need them as much anymore. But also, I did sort of enjoy the modding because it was a little bit difficult and challenging. Do you know what I mean? So it's a mixture of both. But, you know, it took my job. Yeah, it's a mixture of the two, right? But that's, you know, there's nothing I could do about that. And I'm not going to go all Luddite on this issue. So, yeah, I'm trying to make a collection. This is, at least I get some feeling of having fun here. Right, new... See, this cracked one's not so bad. The colour's a bit better, isn't it? See, I've tried all these before, but I've not tried them all with the, I still don't like the undertextures. I'm trying to figure out how the hell the undertextures... I mean, this looks like the NMC undertextures, right? They're very dark. Or has it got its own undertextures? Possibly got its own undertextures. But we'll know. Oh, no. Yeah, it loads after, but why am I not getting the old... Why am I not getting the old arrow? That is odd. Alright, we'll do this the old-fashioned way then. Are any of these the undertextures? I don't think they are. That's why we're getting NMCs. Right, but why didn't I get NMCs when I used this one? This one makes no sense. Because again... No, this has got its own undertextures. I thought we were seeing the sandy one. Do you know what? I'm going to remember that because I might use this one for the undertextures and then use another one for the overtextures. That is okay. I didn't try this one. This doesn't have undertextures. Please say undertextures more. Why? Okay. Undertextures. I'm trying to see the rude joke, because I'm assuming it's a rude joke, because it's Quorico. I'd say it's a fair assumption, yeah? Can we try that? We're definitely going to try it. I want to find an overtexture I like, though. And I think I know which overtexture I like. Which is sort of why I'm saving it to the end, I think. This is... Oh, God, excuse me. Oh, you can see... I think you can see the texture on the weapon looks a little better. That's the sort of thing you're getting from that base mod I installed. Okay, I do not hate the colour of this one. So far, of all of the ones I'm showing you, this is the one I like the most colour-wise. I'm going to try mixing with the undertextures, but colour-wise, I like this one. But it could be paler, and I'm going to show you one. Is it stuttering? If you're getting stuttering, that's almost certainly the stream, because I'm not seeing a damn stutter. So, this one, on top of that one, possibly. Right, let me just show you... Poco Bueno, I was not that keen on. And then there was this one. There was also Sandy Roads. That made everything shiny and look wet. So I turned off the version that made it look wet, but I still wasn't in love with it, so they're unresolved. Right. So yeah, I think getting the road colours right is very important. Of course, once I've chosen one, I then have to walk so many bloody roads just to make sure there are no issues. I got to get all the way to the strip. I got to make sure I haven't screwed anything up there. I mean, it's... This is a nice texture, but... Again, a little too dark. It's a nice texture. But I feel like it might actually be too nice a texture. And what I mean by that is it looks grippy. Those of you who've got no idea because you've never looked at asphalt or you don't watch any racing. Over time, tarmac, or asphalt as Americans call it, will tend to get worn down with use and just with wind and dust and rain. And you'll get less bumps in it. So it will become smoother, less grippy. This kind of looks almost a little fresher, a little too grippy. Like, you know, because asphalt, good asphalt, has bumps. It's a very textured surface. That is, I say bumps. The bumps are not big enough for you to feel it. But they're big enough for the tyre rubber to sink into slightly, so it doesn't float on it. It's also big enough for the water to sort of sink into it a little bit and maybe move out of the way to prevent aquaplaning. So it really does, it feels too grippy, too new, I'll be honest. Alright, so then... What was it? It was Classic Roads. Oh, no. The one that I really do like. Okay, we've got this one. New Vegas road texture, darker, older roads. Asphalt has a gravel texture, but the gravel is stuck to each other. That's how I describe it. Pretty much. I mean, it's not gravel, it's fine gravel. Asphalt is like a very fine gravel bound together with tar. Obviously, that tar makes it less bumpy, but it still should have some... This is why, you know, this is why you actually have... The little bits of stone in tar. I mean, I'm wondering if there are any roads that don't do that and just put pure tar on top, but I would have imagined that would be... Well, no, I don't think it's pure tar. I think they have to mix something else in, otherwise it would get too mushy. I don't know, actually. I'm not an asphalt expert. Right, so this is the darker version of the one I like. To quite like, but There might be too much going on. This is the darker one. That's too dark. This is too dark. Right, yeah, I semi-agree. This is why I showed you that one first. There is a light one. Says deploying, but I never believe it. Because it doesn't always do it, actually. There's been once or twice when I think it's deployed and it's just not. Oh, just go away. So this is the lighter one, which was the one I quite liked. It's very, very worn. It is very, very worn. Again, the undertextures are not... Okay. But it also looks extremely bumpy, doesn't it? Look at this. Like it should. This is probably one of the more realistic of the road mods that I've seen. So this one... I like the vibe going on. Still got the horrible seam. But I don't think there's anything we can do about that. You like this one? Yeah, me too. Me too. It's this one or the enhanced AI one. I quite liked that. But what I want to do now, I want to put in this one. And then I want to make sure... Alright, what are they... After. I want it... It's only got 3, and it's this one. That's all I need to do. Now we'll... Oh, wait, what? Oh. Ah, we didn't get an actual good look at this one because it didn't deploy, or probably didn't deploy correctly. Alright. So... I want to look at the classic road asphalt retexture as an under road plus this one on top of it. And again, I can go more fine detail and pick file by file. That is an option. Hey! FK. What streak are we trying not to lose? Or is that someone's... Is that a sub-streak? How long is the streak? Okay, here we go. So this is... Yeah, I quite like... No, this was not the texture I liked on top. No, wait. Give me a sec. This one should be over the... Okay. So that's not... No. Bad. Naughty. Terrible. After. We want this one to be after all of them. We want this one to be after all of them. This one should be after everything except the actual roads one. Yes. Did it wrong. To me, it seemed like the last road mod had the road 2 raised off the earth. Thing is with roads, they're thicker than most people realise. They really are quite thick. They are actually usually quite far off dirt. Normally what you'll have is some sort of pavement at the side of them. Otherwise you'd have to dig down into the road. Now sometimes people do that. They dig down. But very often on a road like this, it wouldn't be too unreasonable to find that, you know, the dirt's subsiding. Alright, so this is that light colour mod, but with the under textures. I like that, I think. I prefer... Do you guys hear that in the background? I think I like this because it's more consistent now. Is there no road there? I feel like it's the land is more consistent with the sandy texture one. Right, that just looks more consistent now. The road stripe shouldn't be there. Yeah, we know. We're pretty sure things like the signs shouldn't have anything on them. In fact, this sign probably should have rusted and fallen away by now. I mean, most of the things you're seeing probably shouldn't be here. So this road texture's definitely got something going for it, hasn't it? Hmm? And the overall look and feel. I feel like we're not too far from vanilla, but the land looks more sun-drenched, sun-bleached and sun-drenched. So it's all higher quality, but... it's just... yeah, I'm liking this. I am liking this. But I do want to try, instead of that one, I want to try... it was the AI one, was it? Which I quite liked, I seem to remember. Why hasn't it got a thing coming up there? I feel like it's delaying. I feel like I've broken Vortex. I feel like this should appear there. It's not. But they've definitely got conflicts. Let's see what it does. Okay. At least I would have assumed they have bloody conflicts. Without moisture in the air, the rust process is actually severely inhibited. Right, but 200 years? You also have to remember there's going to be some moisture. Doesn't Nevada get some rain each year? It's 200 years. Alright, so this is the other texture. This is the AI texture. It is a little darker, but it's not as dark as NMC's. It's definitely more bleached. I also feel like it's... shall we say less contrasty with the land. But that contrast could be good or bad. I mean, it's I'm noticing the stream stutter quite noticeably. I'm not getting any stutters, by the way. I'm not getting any stutters, so that's purely a... and that will be nothing to do with the mods. Trust me on this. I'm getting... if I uncap my frame rate, I'm getting way more than 120. I think I'm just having an issue with... my capture card. Sometimes that happens when you keep changing games. You think the more broken up one of the last one was better? I mean, I don't disagree. I do not disagree. But I think both of them are actually pretty good options. This one has a vanilla feel to it, doesn't it? It's paler than some of the others. It's definitely paler than NMC's, with only a small line down the center, which is a bit more black, which isn't very realistic, because at this point, most of the bleaching will be not from wear, but from weather. But is Cindy in your YouTube chat? She might be. I haven't seen her. Cindy, if you're in the YouTube chat, Quadico says hi. So anyway, I like both of these. In some ways, I prefer this. I prefer the colour on the last one, but I like how not busy this is. This is a strange thing. Oh god, it really is. The stream is stuttering horribly. I probably need to reboot the bloody... but it's, as you can see, the frame rate seems to be okay. Yeah. I mean, the stutters are on stream only, and I am getting very, very steady frame rate on my end. I'm getting 2% use on CPU and 31% on the GPU. My system is not under any stress. So this is unfortunately a render rig thing. You're just going to have to... The glossy sun reflection from the ground. You mean from the asphalt? Is very weird. It's not weird, actually. That's what would happen. Over time, the asphalt would have become, well, actually, probably completely worn away, to be honest. But it would also, first of all, go a little smooth and shiny as it got worn down. So it would get shiny, although only in certain places, as the sun does. So this, to me, looks fine. The sun reflection looks fine to me. It doesn't make it look wet to me. Whereas one of the mods I used did make it look wet. Isn't it a bit low res? Yeah, it might be. I don't know exactly. I'm getting the feeling, though, overall, people are preferring the lighter, older road one. And I'm with you on this, I think. As I said, though, it could just be that this one has very busy-looking roads. And I don't mean there's a lot of traffic on them. There's just a lot going on the texture. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad, and it can very often depend what it's next to. Depend on what it's next to. So, but yeah, at the same time, I still think it's just overall a better looking texture, more appropriate. It looks sun bleached. It looks worn and old. Yeah. But you know what I mean by busy. Maybe they could actually make, there's these bits that are dark, make them even lighter might actually work. It's like you could almost make it lighter in the bits that look worn away. And the cracks, make them lighter just because it would probably be quite bleached. But it just, as I said, it looks busy. So the question is if you're wandering across... God, it really is stuttering. Let me just... I do not know what the hell this thing's doing. I will double check that I'm not overloading something. But you guys saw that I wasn't getting stutters for the longest time. And now I am. So something else... Oh, I'll tell you what else it could be. It could be Vortex. It is possible it's Vortex. Believe it or not, Vortex, on occasion, can demand a little bit from the CPU, especially if it's been doing a lot recently. And then, occasionally, it doesn't want to let go of them as well, even when you close the damn thing down. Most of the time, you won't be doing this. Okay. It doesn't look like it's got... But, anyway, I think that's probably the better option so far. If it's not made by a game company, it's not a remaster. Sorry, modders. Agree to disagree? Sorry. I've not seen that definition before. Michelle Alessandra, thank you for the $10 super chat. Thank you for the surprise stream. Looking at the roads while eating breakfast was not on my bingo card, but I'm glad for it. Now off to work for me. Cheers. Well, glad I could entertain you because I'm probably going to end there. I've shown you what I've been working on all morning. Basically, this was almost like a report card. And I think mixing these is definitely the way to go. Definitely using the light road texture, but using the classic under textures. That seems to really, really work. Oh, I should probably... add those to the collection so I don't forget. Yeah, no, as far as I know, remaster is just something, basically when a game's been made to look better. I mean, granted, when game companies release a remaster, that's what you're expecting. When they release a remake, you're expecting gameplay and maybe something more. So that's why I'm just trying to keep this collection name somewhat descriptive. But I am just because game companies... I don't think game companies are the only people who can use that. I think you could definitely have a mod that remasters a game or overhauls it. You could describe it that way. But the question is what is the best name for this? Gopher's FNV visual upgrade is just awful because I think I'm going to add animations as well. I think I'm going to add animations. I think I'm going to add maybe some audio tweaks to this collection. Just this is going to be the make the game feel a little more modern collection without changing gameplay. So I think I'm probably going to go with remaster. Someone said Redux. Don't know what the difference is. Yeah. That way I don't need to agonize over whether or not it's a visual mod or not. Because if something, you know, like for example, things that change the animations for reloads, for third-person animations and stuff like that, they'll probably just go in this one. I am going to do but it might even be things like, you know, is it WMIM, which fixes a lot of the animation problems and the meshes and the models. That'll go in this one. So this could end up being a large one. And that way I can have another collection for stuff. You know, equipment. And I will have a pure equipment one that just adds new weapons and new armor. And then I can keep it pure. In actual fact, what I'm thinking is looking at these collections, most people will probably just want to use the stable collection to get the game stable and performing well. And then something like the remaster one to make it look better. Then they can probably choose whichever UI they want, whether it's Darnified or vanilla UI. But any other collections I have, they might want to just ignore because it'll be my choice of equipment mods. It might even be, I might even make a collection for my choice of quest mods. Oh, I'm going to do a gameplay one. People might want my gameplay, but you might find people just stop there and then go off and figure out which gameplay mods they want themselves. Some people who are new to the game but want it to look better might just literally load up my stable collection, the remaster collection, and something like the vanilla UI collection and play the game in what would almost be considered a vanilla experience, just looking better and being more stable. So that would actually probably be a semi-remastered way. New Vegas revamp. Oh, I don't mind that one. But I think is what I want is I want the title to let people know it's purely I'm going to say cosmetic collection. And I don't want to call it cosmetic collection though, because that word ends up getting a lot of back and forth as well. But it's like, it's a collection that's going to make it feel more modern without changing gameplay, basically. At all. I now need to take that entire current load order of mods and give it a try at various places to see how it looks. Because, of course, the fact that it looks good here... I also think what I should probably do before I do that is sort the distant terrain out. I'm assuming you can generate LODs for Fallout New Vegas. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah, of course you can. Right? Of course you can. It's been a while. It's been a while. And then I will wander around and just check. I might even do that on a stream one time, actually, depending on what's going on. God, the noise is doing my head in. Right now, I want to go get some food and then rethink my bloody life. Yeah, they did not go on a lunch break worth talking about. So you guys can't actually hear that in the background. It's just a non-stop rumble for me. And hammering and scraping. Gopher's immersive undertexture remaster featuring equally immersive overtextures. Shut up, Quarico. I hate you. So yeah. Oh god, I'm starving now. Alright, well thank you very much. You've helped me feel good about the choice I made about road texture, because that was the one I was going for. But in the process, I actually found a way to make the under textures look better, which is really nice. Great. Gopher's revisited and enhanced appearance transformation. I'm not doing that. Although I do love it. Haven't heard a single construction noise. Either the noise gate I'm using is doing its job, or it's just the way microphones work. Maybe this microphone is just really good at only picking up what's right in front of it and very loud noises in the background. That could be it. I could not play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 now, though. Especially where I'm up to, because where I'm up to is at a nice little quiet place. You're going to hear all this in the background. You're hearing it, but barely. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would expect. But you just got to remember, because my ears are not microphones, it is just really... And it gets loud, though. I mean, this is not loud. Believe it or not, this is not loud. If the digger outside starts moving and those steel tracks start hitting what's still there of the road, oh my god, it sounds like, you know, one of those road drills, the pneumatic drills that just hammer up your road? It sounds like one of those, just driving up and down. And there is, it's the funny thing, there is other roadworks going on. The funny thing is this morning, not roadworks, but construction. One of the construction projects going on the other side of the street's got a truck parked at the end of the road trying to figure out what to do because they can't get to where they're doing their construction now. So this might delay that construction, which is awful because that's going to delay how long I've got this issue. Because the roadworks outside, that's a this week thing. I've been having noise that's terrible, like especially from upstairs, banging and soaring, and this is just going to extend it. Great planning on both sides, yeah. So anyway, they're taking their time for these works. The estimated on across the road is end of October. Upstairs, end of October. The roadworks that are right outside now, we don't know, but we're reckoning it's probably going to take at least a week. This is their second day, and they're still doing the first pavement. What is it you guys call it in America? Sidewalk. Yeah, they're doing the first one. So I'm guessing it's going to take 2 days to do the other side, and then they got to do the road, and then they've got to do this. It could take 2 weeks, I reckon. So there you go. It's like an audible shadow when you speak. Yeah, that's probably because I've got a noise gate that when I'm not speaking, it just cuts all the sound off from the microphone, which is probably for the best for you guys. Obviously, I can't do that with my ears. This is where I actually need noise-cancelling headphones. Although I probably would never use them because, you know, I love the natural sound of open can. You guys know I'm a big fan of open can. Anyway, and on that note, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you very much. Going to be streaming on Thursday, obviously, with Che, Grounded. And I don't know whether I'll do another one of these streams. I might. You never know. Depends on what I find. So thank you very much. And good afternoon.